The building was originally for the Ministry of Roadways, but now it seems to be occupied by the main bank of Georgia. Raise your hand if you've seen a cooler building than this recently. Not seeing many hands up. The next place is only actually 200 or 300 meters along. So there it is there, behind the statue. Classic example of socialist modernism, at least. Look at that artwork which adorns the facade. So it would appear the bottom 3 or 4 floors are still being used, and then the top 3 or 4 floors, however many floors there are, I didn't actually count, are under either some kind of renovation or have just been left to rot. If you get freaked out by heights, then look away now. But if you enjoy a good view of the city, then keep watching. Just come across another piece of art on the other side of the building. Not quite as impressive. Sure, it's a bit ugly, but if you like the Soviet modernism, it doesn't get much better than this. Another typical 1970s job, I'd say. It was, or maybe it still is, some kind of educational institute. As you can see, it's pretty gruesome. There's certainly some signs of life there. Seems like it's kind of half derelict, at least, judged by some of those windows. It's kind of very makeshift. What I suspect is that this building is being used to house displaced people. That's what I think. This thing is a statue, I believe, from the 1980s, although probably more mid to late 80s, what with the slightly religious theme there. Now, I believe that this interesting structure was once upon a time the Museum of Archaeology. So the gates are locked and bolted, so no chance of getting inside. However, there does appear to be some kind of life going on inside, so maybe it's not closed for good. Maybe it's just closed for renovation.